We have 5, 6, 7, 8. 5, 6. Auto pay. Draw 3 cards, gain 3 life. It dodges Storm's Wrath. It goes to 7/7 because of the henge, plus we draw an additional card, and we make the 2/2 cap. Fair enough, right? No tax. Hey everybody, welcome back. Thanks for taking the time to watch Hello Good Game. We're playing Simic Adventures today, which is an incredibly powerful value/ramp based deck. I guess a mid-range mill as well, you could call it. We do have the self-mill win condition in here through our Thassa's Oracle, which is a lot of fun. This deck comes to us from Torino MTG, who created and piloted it into the number 6th position within Magic the Gathering Arena Mythic rank. So, you know, an absolutely incredible and powerful tested deck by some of the best players. I myself piloted it into top 1000 absolutely without any resistance. You can see we are at a 60% win rate here, going 3-2 in best of 3. So 60% in Mythic is not anything to complain about. A very strong deck, and I'm sure if I spent more time with it, you know, days and weeks and the whole season, we could really fine tune that and boost that percentage, because the more you play a deck, the more you're gonna win with it, right? The better you get at the different play lines within each different matchup, right? Because the meta will define itself, and you're gonna see consistent matchups repeat, and then you can really fine tune in your interactions between those matches, right? So, you know, mono green absolutely smashed us. I think that's a really good aggro deck right now if anybody's looking for that. And then we beat Mardu Knights or aggro, which is nice. And then Boros we're able to beat as well. And then a Temur, you know, we split the difference with. We beat them once, and you know, the other time we couldn't. The deck's pretty vulnerable to an Ugin minus, unfortunately, like almost every deck. So, you know, Ugin's still out there. If you were looking to play something broken, you still are just ramping into Ugin. So I want to show you guys that. So as always, we're going to talk about the deck list in its entirety, breaking down each individual card. What do they all do? Then we're going to talk about the deck's strategies and synergies. How do all of these cards come together to form a coherent archetype? And then we'll watch some gameplay footage, right? Where we'll do our best to break down all the playlines and interactions we can find between Simic Adventures and the Magic Core Set 2021. So the new environment after Teferi and the Wilderness Reclamation ban has been a lot of fun. The variety of the decks we're seeing is quite vast, and it's not just board decks. So that's really, really cool. And by no means is this a budget deck. So if you are a free-to-play individual or a beginner to Magic the Gathering, by all means enjoy the gameplay footage, but potentially you might want to be saving your wildcards for rotation. So I really encourage you to check out our free-to-play budget beginner playlist here on the homepage. It's right at the top. And then we've got a whole bunch of decks that are tested in Diamond rank, so you can rank up with them quite nicely. And they have 0 rares and 0 commons in there for you guys. So that'll be really nice. We've got some beginner guides and you know, some random shenanigans here as well. So no matter what your interest is, we've got it covered for you. Go check out the channel's homepage. Everything's organized, really nice. Hit that subscribe button. And then if you're looking to help support us, you can always join our community as well. Which brings me to say a huge shout out to all of the recent support, not only on the YouTube membership program there, but through the Twitch and Patreon as well. You guys are making this extended workload possible and enjoyable. And I know not only myself, but the whole community has just been having a great time with it. So a huge thank you from, again, not only myself, but from everybody. With all that shenanigans out of the way, you guys, let's finally get in to this Simic Adventure list. We've got 4 copies of Merfolk Secretkeeper. This is a 0/4, and target player mills 4 cards with its Venture Deeper sorcery, which also costs 1. So we talked about the deck being self-mill a little bit. This is going to be the self-mill on you, and then we can also trigger other things with the creature a little bit later on, but we'll cover that in the strategies and synergy section. Edgewall Innkeeper, a 1/1. Whenever you cast a creature spell that has Adventure, draw a card. It doesn't have to have gone to Adventure first, so you can just go right into the creature. Onto our 2-drops, a single copy of Thassa's Oracle. This is a 1/3, and when it enters the battlefield, look at the top X cards of your library, where X is your devotion to blue. Put one of them on the top of your library, which is pretty cool, right? And then the rest on the bottom of your library in random order. If X is greater than or equal to the number of cards in your library, you win the game. So that's like a self-mill win con for us. Even though there's only one, the potential does lie to mill ourselves. So it's nice to have a a way out or an answer. Jolrael, the Recluse. This is a 1/2, and whenever you draw your second card each turn, create a 2/2 green beast cat creature token. So you will need her on the field for those draws for it to take place. You can't take the 2 draws and then play her. Just keep that in mind. And then we can also pay 6 until end of turn. Creatures you control have base power and toughness of XX, where X is the number of cards in your hand. So if you've got a big hand and you've got a couple cats on the field, you can buff them up and have quite the army there, which is pretty nice. 2 copies of Scavenging Ooze. This is a 2/2 in which we can pay 1 to exile target card from graveyard. If it was a creature card, we get to put a 1/1 counter on the Ooze and gain 1 life. Hydroid Krasis has flying and trample, is a 0/0. When you cast this spell, you gain half X life and draw half X cards, round down each time. Hydroid Krasis enters the battlefield with X +1/+1 counters on it. It's a 0/0, so you have to cast it for 3 as a minimum to have it survive. And even if you are casting it for that 3 or 4, it's not bad to just get that draw. Pulling a land is much better than bricking and not being able to hit your land drops, right? So if you have this early game and you're stuck on land, it may be better off to cast it to get the land to continue your game plan rather than just trying to hold on to it for the late game payoff that doesn't come because you can't pull the lands to get there. Anywho, Brazen Borrower also has Petty Theft on it for 2. This is an instant speed adventure. Return target non-land permanent and opponent controls to its owner's hand, so it's just a nice bounce from their side. Flash flying, it's a 3/1, and it can only block other creatures with flying. 4 copies of Lovestruck Beast. It's a 5/5, but it can't attack unless you control a 1/1 creature, and we have Heart's Desire for 1 sorcery speed to create a 1/1 white human creature token. 4 copies of Uro, Titan of Nature's Wrath, a 6/6, and when it enters the battlefield, sacrifice it unless it's escaped. The escape cost is 4, 2 green sources and 2 blue sources, plus 5 cards being exiled from your graveyard. And then when it enters the battlefield or attacks, you gain 3 life, draw a card, and then you may play a land card from your hand onto the battlefield, which is pretty cool. So playing additional lands each turn there with Uro potentially. 1 single copy of Timeo, Collector of Tales. This is a 5 loyalty planeswalker with the static ability of spells and abilities your opponent's control can't cause you to discard or sacrifice permanents, which is like really neat in certain matchups, right? I cannot stand Priest of the Forgotten Gods. She does cost 4, so he'll probably be doing that to you before you get there, but a little bit later on, that's quite nice, right? So +1 ability of choose a non-land card name, then reveal the top 4 cards of your library, put all the cards with the chosen name from among them into your hand and the rest into your graveyard. So this is actually another great way to mill yourself. And then -3, return target card from your graveyard to your hand, which is an amazing way to grab your Thassa's Oracle back, for example. Anywho, on to our bigger drops. We've got 2 copies for 5 of Elder Gargaroth, a 6/6 with Vigilance and Reach. Whenever Elder Gargaroth attacks or blocks, choose 1. Create a 3/3 green beast creature token. You gain 3 life, and, or you draw a card. Nissa, Who Shakes the World. We only have 2 copies here as well, coming in also with 5 loyalty, static ability. Whenever you tap a force for mana, add an additional green mana source. +1, put 3 +1/+1 counters on up to 1 target non-creature land you control. Untap it, it becomes a 0/0 elemental creature with Vigilance and Haste that's still a land. And -8, you get an emblem with lands you control are indestructible. Search your library for any number of forest cards, put them into the battlefield tapped, and then shuffle your library. That's not it though. We also have 2 copies of the Great Henge for 9. However, it does cost X less to cast, where X is the greatest power among creatures you control. We can tap it to add 2 green mana sources and add 2 life to our total. Whenever you have a non-token creature enter the battlefield under our control, we get to put a +1/+1 counter on it and draw a card, which is quite nice. So we can kind of string in a draw effect with all of the low-cost creatures, which is nice. The deck is accompanied by 7 islands, 8 forests, 4 breeding pools, 3 Temple of Mysteries, and only 3 Fabled Passages. Fabled Passage is great because it helps stock your graveyard with cards which can be exiled for your Uro. We're playing best of 3 today, so we've got 4 copies of Aether Gust. This is a 2-drop instant. Choose target creature or permanent spell that's red or green. Its owner puts it either on the top or bottom of their library. The choice is up to them. 4 copies of Disdainful Stroke. Counter target spell with converted mana cost 4 or greater, which is quite nice, right? Another additional Scavenging Ooze, which we already talked about. 4 copies of Wilt. Instant speed for 2. Cycling also for 2. Destroy target artifact or enchantment. and then 2 copies of Sorcerer's Spyglass. As Sorcerer's Spyglass enters the battlefield, look at an opponent's hand, then choose any card name. Activated abilities of the source with the chosen name can't be activated unless they're mana abilities. So that's our sideboard. We're going to talk about the general deck strategy before we get into our sideboard guide here. As far as the deck strategy goes, it's very versatile, right? That's probably the first thing that I should be mentioning. We do have the self-mill win condition through the Oracle, and kind of a little bit of security to re-grab it through Tamayo. However, it's not a requirement, nor should it be your primary goal, I don't think, necessarily. It's kind of like a default condition that's just kind of there if we weren't able to kill him, right? Think of it that way. So don't be focusing just on self-milling right away. For example, the Merfolk could mill us for 4 cards right away. This could be bad, especially for that strategy, for example, because we only have 1 Oracle and we only have 1 Collector of Tales. So if we just right out of the gate, we're like, we're going to self-mill, and we go for it, we could mill those 2 important cards, and then, you know, where are we going from there, right? We've just expedited our death, right? Because if you don't have those cards, you are kind of wanting to make your field state and your cards last as long as possible and start to mill your opponent. So I like to not really start up the mill or the fire, as I call it, or whatever, until I have an Oracle in my hand, until I have a Collector of Tales in my hand. And once I've confirmed those are in my hand, I know they're safe. Now I kind of can make the decision, well, are we going wide and trying to kill this guy? Or are we just going to self-mill? Right? But again, maybe don't make it your first objective even then. Think of it as a secondary win condition or an insurance policy, because what we really want to do is just go wide and smash our opponent. We have a lot of power within this deck. So we'll talk about the draw and like kind of cycling to speed things up near the end. But as far as like beating your opponent, Nissa's got the lands that come out as 3/3s with Vigilance. Those can smack immediately. The Gargaroth can't hit right away, but you know, a 6/6 body with Vigilance, Reach, and Trample is absolutely amazing. Plus it has all of those cantrips whenever it attacks or blocks, which is pretty cool as well. You know, the Lovestruck Beast is a 5/5. We don't only have the 1/1 human tokens, but we also have the 1/1 Edgewall Innkeeper, so he should be you know, attacking pretty consistently as well. Uro is pretty easy to get out, especially because we're self-milling, right? So that's another 6/6 body on the field. And then the Brazen Borrower, 3 attack in the sky, you know, evasion through flying. That's going to deal a lot of damage as well. And then we even have the potential to go wide with these 2/2 cats and buff them all up with Jolrael potentially. And then the Krasis, flying, trample as well. So there's a lot of really big bodies within the deck. It would be a shame for you guys not to... or the deck in general, not to be taking advantage of them, right? They're not only meant to put up blockers so your opponent can't kill you while you self-mill. Get the aggro wins in if you can. I mean, if you can ramp into a Gargaroth, not have it touched, and get that rolling, that's right as rain as far as I'm concerned. However, the meta's got a lot of removal in it, right? Teferi's gone. There's a lot of instant speed shenanigans going on right now. So it's a good balance to have a little bit of instant speed on our own end, through the Brazen Borrower's Petty Theft, for example, which is really, really nice. Just to kind of protect us, maybe opening up our attacking lanes, or if our opponent drops anything that we can't deal with, we can just scoop it off the field, right? So not only are we self-milling, but the deck really revolves around drawing cards. So Jolrael is a really cool 2-drop that we can get out early, and she will help flood the field with 2/2 cat creature tokens, which is really nice. So really lots of draw here. The Edgewall Innkeeper will draw whenever we cast a creature with Adventure, such as the Secretkeeper, which is a great blocker. So if I have this early on, I like to play the Innkeeper and then the Secretkeeper on top. Ideally in turn 2, so we can't just immediately remove the Innkeeper, and then we get at least that draw, plus a blocker, which is cool. So the Innkeeper is one really good way to draw. The Hydroid Krasis draws for us, right? Uro draws for us. I don't believe Tamayo is a draw that just kind of flows into our hand. But then Elder Gargaroth can draw as well. And then the Great Henge is also a draw engine. So there's quite a bit of draw within the deck to support Jolrael. which is pretty cool, you know, especially in aggro matchups when they can't immediately deal with her. And then you get a couple of those cats out, and now those cats give you an ability to kind of ramp up. You got your Earl in play. Now you're gaining life. It's even harder for them. Plus, you get those big bodies that we talked about before that out. So it kind of just like helps you survive a little bit against those aggro matches, as long as you know, you can have her out on the field and survive. The 0/4 Innkeeper is also pretty cool against this kind of style of play. Aggro decks can still get you, right? Some of them are quick, right? Mono green, for example, it just comes out so hard. So you really need these Brazen Borrowers to help bounce some of those creatures to help you survive, right? And again, Edgewall Innkeeper is a huge draw. Think of it as you're kind of doing all of the above. You're drawing more cards than your opponent, you're gaining more life than your opponent, and you're playing bigger creatures than your opponent. Those are your main goals, which are like some pretty decent goals to have, right? You're gonna do good with those goals. And then your self-mill is kind of like if that didn't work, you know what I mean? I'm not sure how many times I can try to get that across and not have it show up in the comments still of I need to add more Thassa's Oracles. Anyways, you guys, that's pretty much it, right? So the reason why it is in there is because there is so much draw, right? And because there's so much draw through things like the Henge and Earl being consistently replayed, that results in a lot of life gain, especially if we can tag the Krasis on to the Nissa, because Nissa doubles our forests, right? So we can just send out a huge Krasis, which is going to gain us a lot of life and refill our hand. So it's all about advantage, field advantage, card advantage, like through draws, and then life advantage through the life gain, right? So you got the creatures, you got the draws, you got the life. The only thing that's not in this deck is removal, right? So now this is actually where we go sideboard best of 3. Scavenging Ooze is like literally our only piece of removal here, I think. The fact that it can exile cards from the graveyards, they've already got to be removed before we can remove them from play. But nonetheless, you can take out an Uro or a Kroxa with this pretty easily. Woe Strider, stuff like this, potentially as well, right? So our removal lies in the sideboard. In best of 1, you're just going for it. Just hit them hard, right? But you know, maybe your opponent has a lot of removal, and that kind of sucks because now you lost your field presence, right? For example. So we do have things like Aether Gust. This hates on anything red and green. So Temur fits into that really quite nicely. Disdainful Stroke, I guess Shatter the Sky comes to mind, right? Extinction Event. So any of those field wipes that are gonna mess your creatures up as well. If he's running, you know, arrows, you probably put in another Ooze, for example, or something. Wilt, Artifact, or Enchantment. So white runs a lot of Artifact or Enchantment removal, which is kind of nice to destroy and remove. Even things like Elspeth Conquers Death, right? Because we do have those nice sized creatures in here, or even our Henge and stuff that will get exiled. Preferably not by ECD because we can't get it back. But nonetheless, destroy target artifact or enchantment. Sometimes there's enchantment creatures, artifact creatures as well. So it's just a little bit of our own removal. And then Sorcerer Spyglass, you know, just name Ugin with this. Ugin's not in our deck, it's in theirs. Name it. I did make the mistake today in some gameplay footage of naming Nissa, so to shut down the Ugin ramp. But it actually shuts down our Nissa as well, so the more you know. So be sure to name their Ugin. I'm just going to save you guys that trouble, right? My misplays are your lessons here at Hello Good Game. That's our sideboard. Really, when you are sideboarding, think about what your opponent did to stifle your game plan, right? And then think also about what they're going to try to put in to further stifle it, right? And then try to not only sidestep that first one of what stifled you, but try to think of, well, what's in their sideboard that would work really good against my deck, and how can I not have that negatively impact me like really, really badly, right? So, yeah, for example, if he did have ECD, I might not run Elder Gargaroth because it doesn't do anything when it enters the battlefield, but then it gets removed. And so that's just one example, right? So what does he have in his deck that really shuts us down, and how can I mitigate that negative effect to kind of balance it out, or ideally come out on top of that? So that was the deck list. That was the deck tech with terrible sideboard guide, right? Before we do get into today's gameplay footage, though, I want to remind everybody I'm live on YouTube every single morning and every single night at 6 o'clock Mountain Standard, both AM and PM. And in between that, starting at 7 a.m., I'm live on Twitch for 3 to 8 hours potentially, and in the Discord for that last little bit of the day as well. So links for everything is in the description below. Can't wait to meet you, talk to you, and share this beautiful game and all its moments with not only you, but the whole community. So really appreciate your time and attention. And like I said earlier, everybody supporting on Twitch, YouTube, Patreon, you guys are incredible, making all of this possible. So, you know, just a big round of applause from myself and everybody in the community. Thank you so much. And I hope you enjoy Torino MTG, his Simic Adventure deck, ranking in number 6 Mythic rank for himself and easily playing in the top 1000 for myself. So enjoy this Mythic gameplay footage. Don't forget to stick around to the end for my final thoughts / propaganda. Take care. Enjoy. Ooh. That land's tough. A little bit better. Still going to be, you know, pretty risky getting there. Gargaroth can go. Scrying for land. Earl's good, but not if we can't play him, right? So definitely just looking for that land. There's other Earls in there we'll get to. We've not pulled a land twice in a row, so the chances of there being a land there is high, so we don't necessarily want to mill it out of the way on ourselves. So let's play our Ooze. Alright, taking our Innkeeper. Always take the draw engine. There's another Uro that we can't play that we were talking about. Yeah. I guess we should have milled ourselves. Let's take the attack. And, you know, I guess let's get after it. 2 land off the top. Whoops. Let's go for it. So that's good to get those 3 non-land out of the way. This is where you can run into trouble, like right out of the gate. If you don't have enough lands to ramp to 3, 4, 5, like, oh, it could get weird. Alright, so he can do whatever he wants here. Ritual of Soot or something. This hand just an absolute dead card. We also have more henge, so let's take our draw. Hopefully it's another land. Now we've not only caught up, but blasted past him, because apparently he's stuck as well, which maybe is a blessing for us here. There's 3 lands, and he plays another. Brazen Borrower's gone. We're top decking. But we can play our Earl. We don't really have any recursion, so what we exile doesn't matter, but it's always a good habit to get rid of your lands first. Alright. That's our hand. Earl can attack, and we can draw a card there, which is nice. So as long as he's not removed here. If only we couldn't just immediately replay him. Right, that's kind of one of the benefits of self-mill. There are 2 cards that you really can't get rid of. Tameo and your Thassa's Oracle. We really need to keep those. There goes our Tameo. Uh-oh. You know how cool that would have been to draw that off the top? Our bad. Sometimes the keepers are really cool to hold until after you have either your Oracle or Tameo and just use it as like a, you know, that final kill type mill. Alright, Crocs on the field to block our Uro. No, Mire Trident Death Touch will do it. As long as it doesn't get removed and we can still draw, I'm okay with this. Looks like he's milling as well. A couple Chandras gone. Let's keep Uro alive. Alright, I don't know if that was good or not. We're starting to get a little bit more value here. He's got 5 land though, so he's getting to that that climax position. Remills into a Reggie. Interesting. I'll be a monkey's uncle if I mill Arthas's Oracle. Okay, that's neat. A draw engine. Seven engrave. One, two, three, four, five. Land in play. I think that helps us a little bit. Take the draw. I don't really want to mill so much. I think I just kind of want to draw. And we'll take that draw on his turn. Liliana gets discarded. He's discarding fire. There's a lot of good stuff in here. And he shocks our Innkeep. Oh no, we should have flashed this in first. Oops. Shit. We're distracted with his graveyard and my horrific back pain this morning. Alright, bro. We still got you. Is that a good play? I mean, I just don't think so. We could just hit him down with our Borrower. So QQ to tap all your land. We have 8, so we can cast this for 6. Draw 3. Looking for our Thassa before we mill ourselves any further. Alright, we have 9 damage in the air every turn that he needs to deal with. Refilling our hand. He's basically empty, but he's got access to his Kroxa. You know, he's got lots going on. He's going to play his Kroxa. We have plenty to discard, though, so not worried. I like all these cards. Let's get rid of our Lovestruck Beast, I guess. And yeah, we have 41 life, so you can hit us, I guess. That Uro's pretty cool. Nissa should result in a concede here, I'm pretty sure. She just breaks the game.
Magnificent world. The land shall conquer you.
See how the value just starts adding up, and it's too much. Alright, what were we dealing with here? Kroxa, Regis, like a lot of Planeswalkers. But a lot of big creatures too. A lot of removal. snipe a planeswalker right off. I think we're close. I like the Ooze to get rid of his Kroxa, I guess, right? And then let's drop a Gargaroth because he had removal. Shock. Oh, the Murderous Rider, yeah. He didn't have any sweepers, it looked like, except for Liliana. So we're gonna keep Jolrael. I think this is fine. I mean, dropping Lovestruck Beast from a disdainful stroke. I don't know. I think we're better off just to try to flex our own value. A lot of land. Okay, this is a nice blend. We could pull a Nissa somewhere in this. Krasis is like a later on situation, mid-game. Okay, going right in with our Ooze. Actually, no, we're going to save it. We're going to go Jolrael. And then gets his Ooze immediately. Because if we play our Ooze on turn 2, he's got a chance to remove it. And that's like a bummer, right? I'm going to take life loss here. Nice hit, bro. Avoiding it with that force draw. Next turn we can Ooze and get rid of Kroxa for some life gain. Right, he's tapped out, as he should be. You should remove that card. So this is where it gets fun. Bingo, bango, bongo. And that's what it's all about. He's down to 3 cards. Okay. Down to 2 cards, which is nice. Very nice, actually. Especially since we've got Uro for a draw. That 4th land to play it. Just need a few more cards in the grave, I guess. I don't think it's really important to get our Adventurer or our Innkeeper out right away. Fabled Passage is great for Uro. Pull more of his removal. Immediately he's going to get hit. 3, 6. Not near enough land for our henge. He's thinking whether he removes the Innkeeper or not. Right? It will activate our Uro. He knows this. It's like, do I kill the Innkeeper, shut down his draw, or do I give him access to Uro, right? Not a fun equation to try to be balancing. They're both bad. Oh, it gets the exile on it. And now he probably removes our Innkeeper. What? Dirty dog. Nice. If he has us discard this henge, or just smashes us with Reggie. Okay, good.
shelter in my stewardship. Rise, my elemental friend.
Piece of discard, we chump block. We can play our henge next turn. As long as there's no demonic embrace. Or removal. Okay. Nissa's dead. He is Reggie, and now he's top decking. Brazen Borrower. Another Nissa. Not a land. Alright, we're on a 3-turn timer. Takes our henge. Which is a bummer, let's be honest. Just Borrower, please. Alright, one more Borrower, please. Okay. Well, 5 land in a row or something? Oh, goodness gracious. So we're going to game 3. He's gonna try to weigh heavily on his Reggie because it did so well for him. Gargaroth can block it. Playing first, hand looks terrible. Still does not look good. We can draw into Nissa though, I guess. Maybe. 2 land. Ouch! Keepers always go at the start. This could be rough. I'm not going to complain about a land. If we can just continue to pull land, ideally maybe, you know, a couple islands off the top, but we'll live with it. He's going to hit us with a discard, and there goes Nissa, and then we don't really need any more land, actually. And hate gets us. He plays Reggie, I'm going to be very sad. Jolrael has 1 power. Oh, it's going to be a 1/1, not just a 1 power. I see. I see. Bummer. Alright, pulling his removal. He seems to have plenty of it. Oh, we're cooking now. And we don't have a target to cast it? That's brutal. Then he takes Reggie. Wow. Life. Are you serious? That's crazy. All of our stuff's also in exile, not in the grave. We're gonna mill now just for Uro. Our Gargaroth, our Nissa. Bummer. Here's a blocker though. A second. Wow.
I cannot protect you anymore.
Land and life, that's good. Plus it blocks a Reggie. I'm sure he's gonna top deck some removal for it though. If not, have us discard. Watch this top deck. This is gonna be insane. This is what I'm talking about. This is the luckiest person I've ever ran into in my life. Insane. Nine, we cast for 7. That's insane. He's got more removal, I know it. And even, we're just gonna be at 1 life. That's like a hard equation to win. Especially with nothing in the grave to Earl. I mean, we can reblock, I guess, with the 1/1 and then the 5, but you know he's top decking more removal. A land, wow. Perfect scry land. That second land, by the way, can't pull 2 lands in a row. It's unfortunate. Oh, probably another 2-drop removal. Takes us 7. We get the trade. We get the trade. Tamail's really good there. Nothing to pull. Just trying to play as much as we can. The Tamail could have milled for Earl.
Excellent informant for my study. Seek and find.
Anything for 2, really. Try to petty theft this guy. He's got to discard his card unless it's instant speed. We have Tamail, thankfully. Watch this be removal too. So cringe, man. How's one person get so lucky? You guys are mana weaving or whatever you want to call it. Earl's in play, at the very least. There's our borrower, I like that. Let's toss one of our arrows. I kind of want to maybe keep that Hydroid Krasis to pull with Tamail, potentially. Still just looking for Brazen Borrowers.
I know I noted this somewhere.
Okay, Thassa's in the graveyard, so we can pull her. He doesn't think we have one. It's more removal. This guy's psycho. Crazy, 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 crazy. Wow. Watch him kill our Tamail. This guy is a madman. Oh, that's good, that's good, that's good, that's good. Tamail is in the grave and our... So we're not getting a self-mill win. We have to actually beat him damage-wise now. We have 24
The
left.
study is over.
This is like a battle of the ages. Rotting Register versus Uro, Titan of Nature's Wrath. Dinosaur's the only one big enough to get up to him. Alright, he's taking some damage. That's a good sign. Probably just top decked removal though. We get the kill on Uro, it would appear. Or on his Reggie. We have 4 in the grave. He plays a land. We get our flash attacker out. Down to 7, holding the Borrower in our hand. Even though he's probably got... Okay. Good play on us. They're both odd. Bummer. Flashing in our Borrower here. If that is more removal in his hand... you know what I mean? What a life to have lived. Incredible. I'm sure he's got some creatures in here, no? Does he have any? A Reggie. I find you. What else does he have? Another Reggie. I'm just taking the life, if anything, right? That's it for him. What do we have? Oh, we don't want to touch ours, though. Top deck more removal. I mean, he's going for it. I'll give him that. How lucky did we get? Is it... Okay, let's... Good game. We could exile from our graveyard. Woo! That was close, boys. He almost had us. And he, like, continually to have us backed into a corner there. Wow, what a match. And we're against number 58th ranked here, so you know, we're going to try our best. What is up with these draw hands? We have to go to 5 here. We can't go to 4. This is ridiculous. Let's toss our hand. That's so far away. We're more likely to draw an island than get 12 land on the field. Especially against a mono-green aggro deck, in which we can do nothing against here. Blessed be thy draw hand. Should we just concede and conceal what deck type we are? Well, there's nothing wrong with playing another forest. He already knows we have forests. Look at this curve out. We're so smashed. We have no field presence or like... Let's play the blocker. Nice. Nice, nice, nice. So this match is over. Another green land. After Molly getting down to 5, because no land. That's awesome. We know he's mono green, which means Aether Gust is pretty cool. I don't know what Aether Gust would take out, though, is the thing. The Ooze, because he can just out-ooze us. Gargaroth is good here, and if we can get into our henge and... like, that's good. Well, 0-4s aren't bad either. I say we drop a couple Innkeepers just because he has such easy removal. That's like fight removal and it's a 1-1, so it doesn't really hinder him to fight a 1-1 ever. Like he could Primal Might for 1 ease on anything. Well, we have at least 2 land. Just top deck some land, baby. Please pull land. Oh, come on. Let's get just a defender out from this Barkhide Troll. I don't know. Just trying to clog up the field, I guess. I mean, if he wants to buff up just to kill a Secretkeeper. Okay, interesting. Interesting. Lovestruck Beast should slow him down. Should slow him down. We can take our tokens, because he won't block with the Pelt Collector ever. Nice. Are you joking me?
Close your eyes and listen to the sounds of the wild. We're fit enough to survive.
We need to ramp to Nissa. So, let's start cycling Uro. Where is this gosh darn land? All in on Vivian. That's probably the best play, right? Now he can still minus his Vivian from Barkhide Troll to the Beast. Oh, and he's got a Questing Beast. That's so good. He might just do it on the Keeper for clear lane.
I'd get out of the way.
Ouchie. Him having the Vivian's like super beneficial. She can minus just like kill one of our guys easily. And then we can't double block. Plus he has mana available. Alright, I don't think this one's gonna happen for us. Really?
This'll be fun to watch.
Oh, good lord. Goes into the henge or what? 4 plus 8 is 12. Just Primal Might. Wow. Woo! That's hot. Wow. I think it's 3 land more than we've seen all last, what, 2 games combined? Having a weird situation or a weird go of it here. We're just gonna play Lovestruck Beast. I kind of like to keep the Innkeeper off of the field until right before we can use it. Obviously, it's incredibly prone to removal. So even here, like, we'll play it. And if he doesn't remove it, we immediately get the draw. You know, we may as well take that attack. I don't know. Sure. Gaining life. Interesting. Boros life gain. Just take our draw. Playing on our main phase in case he wipes instant speed. He cycles. Totally tapped. 2 damage in. Ramping. Okay. He could take the draw. He might just take the damage, though. Either way, I think it's beneficial there. So probably not stacking artifacts if he's just taking the draw. Or he's looking for a sweeper. Right? The henge is in play, which is really nice. We have enough land to build into our Gargaroth. ECD on the henge. He only has a Simulacrum to take back. If he doesn't have a Shatter, Gargaroth should win the game. Double Clarion? That would be hardcore. Okay, so... Still slows us down a lot. Oh, the Edgekeeper saves us because now the beast can attack again. 4, that'd be 5. Oh. Keyword, that would be 5. Flexing with our 0-4 just because it's faster. Gargaroth can defend. Takes the Simulacrum back. Grabs another land. Ugin minus on our Gargaroth.
I came into being long before your kind ever.
Good play, good play.
Ghost fire.
We have 7, casting this for 5. More land, that's awesome. Killing Ugin or trading. Yeah, I'm okay killing Ugin and losing the Innkeeper. So draw engine for draw engine, it's totally fine. Watch him play second one. Right? Totally awful.
When you understand reality, my plans do not include you.
Did I mention how much that sucked? Let's just kill him with flyers. No way.
Strive for balance in all things.
Ridiculous.
Return to the essence. Truth of the lies beyond vision.
I don't know how we're gonna do this. It takes him to 1, he pluses, just kills it. I think we just have to try to somehow get to it. It's not gonna happen with land. Right, we're just a little bit off. If these were all borrowers and we could lay them in one after the next, okay, maybe then, right?
I know who I am. And no, is it just me? Or is it getting a little warm in here?
The fabric of the multiverse obeys me.
Just directly counters us. He did that revitalize off the start too, didn't he? Yeah. So we could have been a lot closer.
My flames burn beyond perception.
Let's get toasty.
Yeah, that's game.
Secrets manifest before you.
Even with a borrower off the top. Oh, which we do get. But we would have taken him down and he just kills us. We get close though, right? It was close. It was a good draw, just a little bit slow. A lot of planeswalkers here, 4 and greater. Right? No creatures. He's got a lot of different things. We counter the ECD, we shouldn't have to worry about removing it. It's really hard because, you know, the 2 Ugins, the -X is just insane. We basically just need to be prepared to counter that at all times. Right? Okay. Right, in a very, very weird position. Let me just quickly get my cardboard live up. Sorry about that. Taking our scry here. Another stroke. I'll keep it, right? You know he's going to have multiple. We've seen a lot going on his deck. Let's pull out a shock. There's no getting around it. Let's just move past it, right? I think we just go for it. Right? He doesn't really have anything good off the start. It's more of like that mid-range late game deck for him. Let's take our scry. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Interesting. His ECD doesn't drop till 5, so if we can get our Gargaroth out, have it survive, and then protect it with our stroke, that's going to be really good. Right, he drops to 4 here, and because we were on the play, unless he can remove it for 3 or 4. Nope. We're good. We can even Earl. We can pay life for anything because we just gain life, but we're going to draw. That's the most beneficial thing for us. An easy win on the play here for us. I don't really care so much about the Simulacrum. Just prioritizing on his Ugins. Fabled Passage is good for Uro. Increasing the size of our graveyard, which is now only at 1. Elder Gargaroth has given us 2 draws so far. Which he's gone to draw twice as well, but I like our way better. First Ugin in play. So sorry, sir. And he kills the Innkeeper, which is fine. I guess we could have flashed the Borrower in, taken a draw. That would have been good. Passes Oracle, that's really nice. Still get our 2 damage in. We're ready to start milling ourselves. If it comes to that. I think we'll just kill him though. Serpent for 9. Okay. Cool. Hitting for 9. Just keeping that draw going. Mill ourselves. Uro can enter the field, and we still have our stroke available. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, that's match. How are we going to win this in game 3? That stroke really helped. I'm gonna take that Spyglass too. And 2 Secret Keepers can go. I'd rather just shut down those Planeswalkers. Oracle, Henge, we have land. We've been screwed on land so much that I think we should just keep it. Use our scries to our advantage. Did we just see a double mulligan on his behalf? Could be good for us. Down to 4? Holy macaroni. That's what we normally have to do. We get our counter, which is nice. The beast is early aggro he might not be able to deal with. And if he does, it's some of his few cards. Okay, okay. So he's on the play. Karn the Great Creator, which we can hit for 3. 2. Interesting. What's he go for? Okay, okay. A little bit of scry, a little bit of draw, a little bit of life gain. I like that card actually quite a bit. Gone down to 1. Bounce the tomb once he makes it into a creature later. Right? And then we can kill Karn.
Awaken.
Oh, we can just kill Karn. Let's just make sure we get the kill on it. Right?
I will return.
Ending our turn. Serpent for 4. That's fine. Let's just bounce it. Keep our attack lane open. I think he kept the 2 mana open for the draw. And then let's play this Borrower for the attacker. And then another counter. We're all set here. We hit for 10. We're doing the same thing next turn with the Borrower, Disdainful Strokes, kind of switching it into a little bit of a counter deck here. A double Deafening Clarion will definitely suck. Nice. Even the 1 kind of gets us pretty good. That was a misplay. We should have had our passage in play first, so we could have instant speed countered if we had to before, because we didn't have access to the Hengemana. Just be aware that that was like a little bit of slip in play. Ending our turn. Draws his card. We're ready to counter, so it's fine. If it's not worth countering, like the snake, we can just bounce it with the borrower. Alright, 4 life, which is pretty good for him. Plus he draws again. So he really made the most out of not having a lot of starting cards. Jolrael is an amazing card here. Gets us the draw, makes the cat token, right? We could use Jolrael's ability pretty soon here as well. I'm tempted just to take the draw. I don't think we're ever going to get this Oracle for the self-mill here. Yeah, let's pass. Just debating playing the Krasis or the Borrower there. So always a great card to counter. He's got his Karn in graveyard. Borrower will be a 4/2, right? And we get to draw here. That's really good. And it replaces itself. That's awesome. Don't mind if I do. Let's take a little peek-sees here. Ugin is one or more color, so Ugin can't destroy the Sorcerer's Spyglass, so let's take that. We cast it for 2. Keep our stroke up. He just takes the draw, that's okay. Let's make our cat. Let's get some damage in, 6 damage. He gets it. His Ugin's a dead card. He can play his Snake, which is great. I don't know why he didn't cast it for the full amount. Seems weird to me. Let's bounce that back. Paying 2 life. Gargaroth goes in. Draw a card. And then we are all in as well. Down to 6 lethal next turn. Yarp. So, you know, we lost game 1. We came back in game 2, and in game 3, we kind of are flexing here a little bit. So just pure value within this deck. It's very powerful, and with that, we crack top 1000. Opponent goes first, bummer, but if we can pull land, it isn't bad. Paying life. We've got lots of life gain through Uro. We've got Hydroid Krasis as well. Let's take the draw. I don't like to mill until we pull our Thassa's Oracle or our Tomeo. There we go. We're not attacking. He could have a Brineborn Cutthroat. Okay, just bouncing it. Let's just take our Uro here. Oh, he's just gonna try to tempo us. Interesting. Maybe. Interesting. He can't block, so he's... But he can phase it out, okay. Trying to land into Nissa. Nice. And he pluses before phasing us out. We could have haste, right? We don't, but could. Let's make it too good to be true. Let's put him into a point where he's like, yeah, you know what, I gotta exile that. And let's just take it. I don't know. Maybe he's got something to do with spells and instances in the graveyard. Screw it! Drawing, discarding. I guess we could have waited for the Ooze until after his discard. That probably would have been better, right? Storm's Wrath he tosses. If he only knew. And he already pluses to Fairy. I'm surprised he didn't cast that opt and he could have got a pup made. That would have been his second draw. Right? That's interesting. And he tossed a Storm's Wrath, so I'm trying to not really worry about that. Unless he's got two of them. But if he did, he'd use it here. And he's still not taking that draw with Jolrael. Cast Niv away. Why isn't he taking the second draw with Jolrael on the field? This guy's ranked 355. This is some big brain stuff here. Another draw after Jolrael. But he'll get the 2/2 here for that one, though. Should he not? I'm confused. What we need is land. He can hit us for 4. At least. I don't think we're going to self-mill. We're down to 12 life. It's going to be a weird win.
Let us see if your talents are... I think you will find my notes helpful.
Can I just look for a forest? Oh gosh. What would be good here? Arrow? No attacks. Tomeo should survive. At the very least, it's taking his, you know, oh no. Nice. I was gonna say, taking his attention away from our health points onto Tomeo, but this is gonna get very bad. This guy's deck is so powerful that those Jolrael misplays are not even a thing. Alright, hit for 4. Teferi's ready to double turn us. When in doubt, just play Uro. Even though I don't think it's enough. Alright, he's ready to take 2 turns, so that's game.
To the library.
Nothing really saves us here. He takes his 2nd turn and 3rd turn on us now, so I'm pretty sure that's game. How are we going to beat this deck? Aether Gust is really good, as he's a Temur deck. The Borrower is good too. The Lovestruck Beast could survive Storm's Wrath. Right? So, 4 cards to sideboard out. It's hard. It's not easy. We like all of the top end where it's at. We could split the damage down low, potentially, and just run a higher end deck, which is probably what we need to do. I'm hoping. Good draw hand will go a long way as well. Let's play first. And just hopefully curve directly into Nissa. All we want here is forests, 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 forests. Three forests off the top is going to be ideal. There's our first one. So Lovestruck Beast is still in play, and then we can play the Heart's Desire from the other to allow the first to attack. One more land off the top, and we're in a pretty good spot. Yeah, it can go to the top. It's a good card in this matchup. Right? We're basically just now in that same position we were last turn. Okay, he can make the chump blockers. That's annoying. Really? Let's just do it again. Just cycling Lovestruck Beast, I guess. He gets the pop here, or the cat. We have nice blockers. It's been keeping us away from our land, though, is the thing. Alright, straight chillin'. He must have priority on something. Or he's just waiting to go to our attack phase. Optic, that's fine. Okay, we get a little bit of damage in. Not too shabby. Burrow's in play. Don't really want to counter it. Annoying. Big time. Let's toss it back. That's his turn. Now we have an opportunity. He's going to replay that Uro. It's totally tapped, so there's no Aether Gust on our Nissa.
Surges through these lands.
The thing is, our land is going to die. So we need to make sure it's an island.
Behold, nature's true power.
He takes it down to 8. We're getting close, and with Nissa on the field, it's really going to help us. Straight into Uro. 3, could go to 4, as high as 5. I wouldn't mind if 2 land came out of his hand, you know what I mean? Play another land. Pays life for it too, so he's at 4 available mana. Can't play his Uro though, there's not enough cards in the grave. We just have to go for it.
Be wary of the ground you walk on.
So we have 10 mana available, means we can cast this for 8. Draw 4 cards. And then our Lovestruck Beast can still swing in, and now even if he wipes, we've got a good hand. And those Hydroid Krasis have a tendency to pull themselves, which is really cool. So, you know, we get that win in game 2. Aether Gust came in really handy there. You know, I think that Ooze is going to be good as well on that Uro. So let's try to up that by 1. And he really struggled with our Lovestruck Beast, so, you know, maybe we just drop some high-end Henge. Because he could Aether Gust the Henge, and that's annoying. Let's try our best, see what we can do here. If we just believe. 3 land, can't argue with that. Correct colors, just looking for that second forest. Turn 2 Jolrael. You know, just kind of flex on his strategy maybe. Could have played our Lovestruck Beast there. That's my bad. I looked for it last second. It's like, is there a Heart Desire? That's fine though. It's gonna be a long game, so buckle up. Interesting. So we still are in a position where it's like, wow, we have to draw out this Storm's Wrath, right? How do we get around this Storm's Wrath? Pulling out a Shock, probably. He goes for it. Okay. Interesting. Let's take a look. Enter the battlefield, look at the opponent's hand, choose any card name. Activated ability. So this is I don't think, an activated ability. So that doesn't matter. I guess the passage is activated. Kind of a bummer, but... Oh, any card name. We could have... Dang it. That's a misplay on Sorcerer's Spyglass. We should have picked something that wasn't in his hand. But then again, locking him to 3 land may be beneficial. He wipes us. He wipes himself as well with the Wrath. Oof, he goes around us. Beast in play. Pretty cool. Heart's Desire. But he's not going to wipe his own beasts. You know what I mean? Just seems strange. We can get this Henge out on top of that Beast next turn. That's going to be a lot of value for us. And I like that. Interesting. Little chump blocker there. We're not looking to attack. He's got plenty of defense. Another Lovestruck Beast, of course. Engine plays great for us. And a non-token, so that's kind of a bummer. But in the spirit of non-tokens, let's skip the token and just play our 5/5 defender to match his. Except it goes to 6/6. Right? That's very beneficial, and now he basically can't attack. Plus we get the draw card, plus we get the chump blocker. So things are looking good. Kind of. Right? He can still just get upset in Storm's Wrath. No creature cards in the grave. No one's pulled an Uro for the Scavenging Ooze, so that's okay. It's not a complete wash yet. Ooh, wow. We have 5, 6, 7, 8. 5, 6. Auto pay. Draw 3 cards, gain 3 life. It dodges Storm's Wrath. It goes to 7/7 because of the Henge, plus we draw an additional card. And we make the 2/2 cat. Fair enough, right? No tax. We're at 42 cards. We have our Tameo. So if we wanted, we could mill. Right, so he's just going nuclear. He wants to reset the field. Which is fine. Like, he's losing his whole advantage. We keep the 7/7 plus our Great Henge. I mean, it's nice. But is it good enough? Take a little gander. Why don't we? I mean, we could just immediately pull Jolrael back. That's a pretty cool way to win this game, I think. But let's plus. And we are looking for a Nissa. Aether Gust. All that goodness is gone. We're sitting on 4. We could go to 5. Let's just take the Scry. Thassa's Oracle can stay. And, yeah, we're attacking for 7. Lethal next turn. So we're always seeming to lose that first match and then winning the next 2 in a row, which is, I'm not complaining, it's hard work, but climbing up that hill, winning that ranked, 764, and we're trying to go for top 500, I think. Okie dokie. Wow, that's a lot of land. How are we going to cleave through this? Hello. Wow, it's Durgurt. Good game. Thinking. Who can play more Uros? Ooh, I guess I can. Looking for another island. It's Temir. Step on him. only we had Ugin in the deck with this wrap, right? Okay, he's got his own arrow. Cool. The Henge is just so nice to have in the field. Four in the graveyard, including both of our arrows, so need quite a few more cards in the grave. Omnath can just kill our borrower. So we need, yeah, like, we need our negates. Because he's got Genesis Ultimatum. So that's frightening.
I would like to ask about any lunar anomalies. Seek and find.
Put our Earl on the field. Alright. Let's draw 2 cards here. 7/7 Earl. Tomato on the field. It could be a lot worse, but I am nervous here. Nissa's good.
We will not fail.
I don't think we're going to see any attacks,
The
though.
land fights for us.
Just flooding his field. Now I want a Nissa.
I know I noted this somewhere.
Right, that makes sense. But will our Nissa survive? It should. Kill the Bone Crusher Giant. Which is nice. Let's just flood the field. Forest for Nissa later. Jolrael will help make chump blockers. We're not really holding counters, so let's go in one layer deeper. We're at 30 cards. Tomato on field. I don't really want to mill it all. We should keep one Lovestruck Beast in hand. We maybe shouldn't have played the token there. And should just play the Beast. A little bit of a happy accident, I guess. We're at 36 life though, but here's the ultimatum! Okay, it's not that bad. There's no Ugin. There's no Terror of the Peaks. Could be worse. We just want to self-mill. Right? Put up the walls, we got the life. Let's mill our deck. $30 cards left in the library.
I have learned little here.
He nukes our Tomato. And he mills an Ugin. Uh-oh. This is -9 though on the Henge. That's heavy. Still has, like, what? 2, 4, 5, 6, 7 mana available.
The elements.
8, 9, 10, 11. Holy. Whew. And I thought we were ramping. Yeah, right. Ugin, he's still got land left over. And the land survive. He decides to plus.
Do not ignore.
Not good.
Draconic
So this was a close match. This Ugin is so powerful, though. Very hard to compete with. Is there any way to make this work? 29. We need our lands out on the field as well for if Ugin hits it.
Together, we will prevail. Be wary of the ground you walk on.
38 life, so we could take a couple hits, I guess. Gargaroth won't do anything. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's just try to take the henge draw. Look for those Merfolk mill cards. Like that. And then milling us for 4. We're at 22. We draw another one here with the henge and the innkeeper. And we're at 20. Play the land. Take the double draw with the beast again. Attack with Earl into death. Yeah, definitely attack with Earl into death. On Ugin. Another Merfolk. Land for the Scry. I don't know if that does anything for us here. Let's toss it. $41. 3 mana available. Let's self-mill for 4. I wish I had more blue mana. And then we play Jolrael just for an organic draw, I guess. Down to 14. We lose our devotion is the thing here. We get to keep that land at least. If that's a thing. Oh, we get to keep a lot of things here. Well, not a lot, but our Nissa and our henge. I guess he kills our Nissa.
Reality is unreal.
This is bad though, like. This is not good. Maybe he mills himself. Maybe we should have been milling him, question mark.
The land shall conquer you.
Interesting. I mean, you know, I'm just worried in general. That's like unlimited resources for this guy. Yeah, plays a Nissa on top of his other Nissa. Well, just for more attackers. We got 41 life. We're getting hit for what? 16, 19, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 29, 32. Holy, right?
Rise, my elemental friend.
He's got 32 damage on the field right now. 6 of it goes to Nissa.
My strength fades.
Woof. Can we self-mill?
I must seek comfort in the land.
Losing the devotion does suck, but we have the Great Henge. We have mana. Let's try to ride off it. 14. Man, that's going to be hard to get to. As a full field last turn, we only did like 6 or 7. Ay caramba. One, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 10, draw 5. Arrows don't do much anymore. Devotion by 2. Devotion by 2 is good. Draw 2 cards here. Down to 11. We have 4 devotion. We need all the land we can get. We don't survive next turn. We only have one more blue source to use. Nine, and we mill 4. Man, we get close. If we can just pull another 1-drop green permanent, like 3 of them actually. Cards that cost green to play but have blue sources on them. I still don't think we get it. I mean, we're trying to play it out as best we can. Down to 7. And again, we mill for 4. Is it? Oh, this only casts as 1, not 2. Idiot. One, 2, 3, 4 mana available. I need 2 of it. What do we bounce? The big one? Actually, cancel. We can go up to 3, 4, 5. Oh no, we need. No, we can do it. We can do it. No, we can't cast it for 0. We can enter as a 0/0. Will it come in with a 1/1 on it? Like, we have to try it. We lose if we don't. And it tapped the wrong land. Oh, I'm an idiot. And it dies. Oops. I thought maybe, I gotta learn those things the hard way, right? That maybe the counter would come on as it entered. We're gonna get that -3 again. We keep our land, though. Right, we lose all of our blockers and we get hit for just an abysmal amount. We have our 3, 6, 9, 12, 16, 20, 21, 24.
Be wary of the ground you walk on.
So close. I'm sure there's a couple interactions there we could have done differently. Oh, and we don't get the blocker at the forest. Ah! Ah! Alright, how are we sideboarding against this terrible elemental deck? Ugin, Nissa. Man, I don't even know. Land, no artifacts. Creatures and non-creatures. Wow, those are good to block the land. I didn't actually see an arrow, did I? No, we did. Drop our mill. Just, no, we can't kill him. We got a mill. Or he knows we're milling and he's going to try to mess with that. 20 seconds left. Take Edge Keepers for our Tomeo and Oracle. Oof. Let's just try our best. Let's try our best here. We're on the play. Three lands plus our Spyglass. Nissa's the first card we take out. Let's get Jolrael in play first. Bone Crusher Giant, you jerk. Take a forest. Now we just need to ramp into our own Nissa. If he plays an arrow, we can deal with it. We have lots of life gain. We should do this maybe on his turn, because we could get two of them. We'd still die with two of them, we'd need three. Because if he plays his Cavalier and mills his own creatures, we could take those. and then block, right? So being a little bit greedy on damage there. Always try to call your misplays as you do them, or make them, right? We need another spyglass and name this Ugin. Two's better than 4. There's no ACD, but you can never be too careful. Just try to pull more land for our Nissa. We're really suspect to damage here. Oh my gosh, he's gonna get it anyways. Wish we could rebalance this to our hand. Oh, absolutely brutal. We need a counterspell.
I protect that which cannot protect
So I think the passive ability still works. Is that correct? We can kill his Nissa here. No way. That's game.
This is fragile.
Ugin, just representing. You can't beat him, ladies and gentlemen. He's so powerful.
Ghost fire.
There's no way to really lose against him, it feels like.
Greatest creation.
I will protect the virtue of this world.
That activates on our Nissa as well. The more you know. Oh gosh, good game. So I think the deck was really good. Some nice last matches there. We're getting bullied, but you can't expect to run a wicked win rate against the top players in the world, right? These people don't often make mistakes. Wolf, right? So I think we're doing all right. We're holding our own. Let me know what you think in the comments below. I'm sure you'll all point out my misplays. You're so great at that. But nonetheless, I do read all the comments, and I think at 10,000 subs, I'm going to have to stop replying to the ones that aren't subscribed to the channel, just because it's become like an hour to 2 hours of just like replying to comments every single day, because you know, we're starting to get 10, 15,000 views a day. That's like 100, 200 comments to like actually put effort into them, which is what I want to do. It's becoming quite hard, so you know, subscribe to the channel if you want your comments replied to. All that shenanigans. With that being said, we are barreling towards our 10,000 subscriber mark. We've got the 500,000 gem giveaway, which triggers its next phase at that point. All of those informations is in the Discord as well. So check that out. Tell your friends. They probably do not want to miss out. The next one doesn't trigger to 100K, so if you're looking for gems, we're going to be giving away hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars in gems at 10k. So I'm really looking forward to sharing all that with you guys. So don't miss out. Tell your friends, etc., etc., etc. What else do I have to say? We've been doing brawl videos every day. Definitely show those some love, you guys. We really need the videos that don't do well to do well. So we're talking historic videos and brawl videos. Just go through and slam some likes on them, some comments, or you better yet watch them, right? Just because this content doesn't do as well on YouTube, and we as creators, and it's not only myself, I'm hoping to lead the way, and then like showing these other creators like, hey, your channel won't die if you create some brawl content or some historic content, right? Thankfully, due to our recent support on Twitch, Patreon, YouTube, and COVID kind of really, because I'm not working right now, we've been putting in like double, triple time on the channel, creating 2 to 3 videos a day. So I've been able to still do that standard video every day, which gets really good views, and then, you know, do the historic, do the brawl that doesn't perform so well. So just keep in mind when not only myself, but any creators putting out that kind of content, show it some love if you like it, right? But with that being said, I mean, maybe the reason it doesn't get a lot of love is because you guys are so into standard and nothing else, and that could be right. So anywho, upgrades to the deck, I don't think so. I think the deck's great as it is. It's just going to take a little bit to learn how to play and fine-tune against the different matches in the meta. I tried to do my best explaining it off the start, how the mill should be an insurance policy, and you just want to go wide, gain that life, and smash down, and then worst case scenario, well, I self-milled myself, here's the win con, right? Yeah. Thanks for the deck, Torino MTG number 6, really appreciate it. And thanks to everybody who's been hanging out with me recently on these live premieres. That's been absolutely amazing. For every 5 likes the video gets in the premiere, right? I'm not here all day handing out codes, but while we're live in the premiere, every 5 likes get an IRC code or a gem giveaway code or like sleeves. It's random depending on what list I'm burning through of codes to give you guys. So come hang out live if you're looking to try to copy and paste like the quickest hands in the West. I don't know how some of you guys are so quick. You must have like scripts doing this or something. You guys, woof. So cool things today. I had so much fun with this deck. A long video for today, you guys. I appreciate everybody who's stuck with me to the end here. I'm gonna say this, but I don't think any of you need to be told if you're still here. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share to a friend, and hit that bell icon so you're notified of all of our future uploads. And yeah, woof. I really appreciate you guys' support. Thank you so much. I hope you guys all have a great day. And depending on when you're viewing this, we're back in 11 hours, I guess I should say, and then it doesn't matter. And again, 6 a.m., 6 p.m. Mountain Standard on YouTube. And then between them, we're live on Twitch. So come hang out. We'd love to talk, right? Take care. Go enjoy today.